for he was undemonstrative of... A big black bear sat on a big bag rug. A big black bear. Map engravers, architects, shady lawyers, and the ancient owl. Though it was now plunged in darkness, except for the...
Gordon. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining me. I just need to make sure, don't we?
My aunt took me and my cousin to the cinema. My cousin and I to the cinema. Me and my cousin.
From the humble beginnings.
If he be Mr. Hyde, he had thought, I shall be Mr. Seek. Mr. Utterson had it all.
I can't see where that is. Never mind. In this paper, spreads around their head, face, and neck.
You sit quietly on top. Once in a great while, the gentleman of my venture. There are 3 windows looking on the court of the first. It's not so sure, for the buildings are so. It was a man of the name. It was the.
Because naturally you shampoo the head on your head. The hair on your head.
With Stephen Fry, who was narrating the stories. With. Hitherto. But now his imagination also wasn't.
So here. I'm just gonna wait for the.
You start a question. And now my soft-spoken voice, I can now explain to you what the channel is all about. So I've looked singularly dull and would hail with... Oh! Do that again.
Go. Where do we get to?
And...
So, does Betty but bought?
If you like what you hear, I'm really pleased to be I'm really pleased to be joining such an interesting... And hitherto, it was his ignorance of Mr. Hyde that had swelled his indignation. It was worse when it began to be clothed upon... This little spirit of temper was somewhat a riverilla. This little spurt of temper was... It was a night of little ease to his toiling...
However, in a rushed sentence.
I saw Mr. Hyde go in by the old dissecting room door. Oh God, that's terrible. This Master Hyde... Oh God. And the lawyer, scared by the thought, brooded a while at his own bar.
Gordon.
Welcome to Ponderingtales ASMR. Do literature, poetry, short story, poetry, and on Sunday they're going to be more. And on Sunday they're going to be more similar Catholicity. Undemonstrative.
Can you, can I, can I? Can you, can I, can?
which the footfalls of a single person, while he is still a great way off. Yet his attention had never been do that again. And it was with a strong, superstitious pavre. I'm an old friend of Dr. Jekyll's.
Big black rug. A big black bear sat on a pig.
The other snarled aloud in the problem he was thus debating as he walked as one... The problem he was thus debating as he walked was one of a...
They normally come with shirts that...
It's lovely to see you, and I'm so pleased that Mr. Enfield and the lawyer were on the other side of the stuff.
I've spent most of my life
Something displeasing, something downright detestable. And yet, I really can name a volume of some dry divinity on it, and then you'd then find it was like a sort of, excuse me for tapping the mic, it was...
This is moustache oil. Excuse me. This is moustache wax for a man or woman.
Pressing record on a dusty. Where's the friggin' thing? Oh, come on.
Is this actually recording? Yes, it is. Thank you. I saw Susie. If so, please stay around and... Hey.
Yes, it's a bad story, but and the person that drew the check is the very pink of the prior... And you don't know if the drawer of the check lives there.
So this is the sushi. This is the sushi chef, though. Wayne, we shall shop. Tell you what, I'll tell you a little story. Story, but don't.
We were keeping the women off him. And all the time as we were pitching it in red hot, we were keeping the women off him as better.
Tom through.
Okay, we're going again for the second time.
Studied many years ago.
He gave an impression of deformity without any nameable malform.
When was the last time you said, "Can you please pass me the butter? The butter." Well, depending on your accent. However, we are digressing.